Hello, everyone. Welcome to Jigyasa. We have many participants here already. We'll wait for the next 2 minutes for more people to join us today. Uh, Everyone who's already joined us, thank you for being here. Jigyasa is a platform that answers a lot of your questions about the development space, about the not for profit sector, and helps you make a career in the not for profit space. Thanks a lot for being here with us. We ensure that today will be a really, really informative and fun session for you. Just give us the next 2 minutes and we'll begin. Okay, start with the keyboard. Welcome, everyone. We're ready to begin. As I said, welcome. I'll quickly introduce myself. My name is Tanya. I'm your moderator for today. I also am a member of the talent acquisition team here at the Nudge Institute. So often the first line of control for a lot of people when they want to enter the organization. I am adept at answering a lot of the questions that you may have, but the product, tech, and data questions, I think I've got people who are here who have way more expertise than me to answer them. You can see them on your screen. Aryan and Isha, can you wave quickly? We'll come to that, but before that, let's know a little bit about Jigyasa and the Nudge Institute, who we are, why we do what we do, and we'll then move to our panelists and a lot of questions that you guys have sent us as well. This is the problem statement or the challenge or the hope and the belief that we have. Every Indian deserves a dignified life out of poverty, and we believe that it's well within our collective means to achieve that goal, especially within our lifetime. The last statement or the last phrase makes it an audacious goal for us and a goal that we all work towards consistently. Uh, And this is why the problem is big enough. It is a huge chunk. 200 million people continue to remain and often fall back into multidimensional poverty and face extreme shocks. Um, One fourth of the world's population, world's poor, are from India, and we rank 132 in the HDI index. To solve this problem, the Nudge Institute works the Raj Institute exists to solve for this problem. We are an action institute that works towards a poverty-free India within our lifetime. And we know that we cannot do this by ourselves. To ensure that we are working at population scale, we work with governments, markets, and civil societies to ensure that we build resilient livelihoods for all. Fair question to think, how do we do that? But like this. So we depend on scalable transformations through probabilistic prototype bets. Really complicated statement. Let's try to break it down into simple parts. We call this the three P's that are on your screen. We identify problems within the livelihoods ecosystem, generate ideas or rather like a bulb of idea that we have. We then move them to the prototype stage where the solution meets the needs of the target population. What we do here is a lot of action research, solution designing, and innovation to ensure that we are creating a solution for scale. We then move the prototype to propagate, where we ensure that the solution has credibility, which means the important factors are to drive adoption and remove barriers and ensure that the solution exists at significant scale at least. Post which I think you see a big shift where we ensure that we are working with the marketplace, we're working with the government, we're working with civil societies to ensure that we are at a proliferate stage and everything moves at this scale. Again, we do what we do to ensure that systemic problems are solved and not so that we're going to sleep in peace. So that is why the scale is so important for us. Um, And to ensure all of this entire journey genuinely requires a lot of people to come together, right? One of that segment is the product, tech, and data teams at the Nudge, who we'll be talking to and about today. I'm happy to introduce you to the panelists. Our first panelist is Isha. Isha, can you wave to us one more time? As you can see on your screen, Isha has over 12 years of experience working in project management, sales, services, and operations. But beyond that, we all know Isha as a problem solver, someone who's really excited to work with her team, always the biggest cheerleader of Asha Kiran around office. She has had a prolific 4.5 year journey at the Nudge in fundraising and product roles, and currently leads product at Asha Kiran. I'll hand it over to Isha to talk a little bit about Asha Kiran, because I know she'll be a little shy talking about herself. So over to you, Isha.
Thank you, Tanya. Well, rightly said, a little shy about myself, but very proud about the program. And Asha Kiran program is a livelihood promotion model to provide for supplementary source of income for poor women farmers. We currently work with about 8,000 farmers in Uttar Pradesh primarily, helping build capacity of farmers through backyard poultry and goatry.
Okay, thank you so much, Isha. Thanks a lot. We'll move to the next panelist, Aryan, who is here with us and on your screen as well. Aryan has worked with a lot of organizations that you have heard of, but we know him as a tea connoisseur here at the Nudge. He will always be around taking care of people, asking them if they need a glass of tea. But beyond that, he's had a prolific entrepreneurial journey with Apna, post which he joined the Nudge Institutes as the product head in the End Ultra Poverty program. Over to you, Aryan. Maybe talk a little bit about the program.
Yeah, I'm not shy talking about myself, but I'll just talk about the program. So the program is End Ultra Poverty. So it's important to understand who ultra poor are. The way we define ultra poor people are families who spend 80% of their income on food, but still don't meet even 80% of their nutrition needs. So basically, every day is all about how do we survive the day or how do we get our next meal. So these are the kind of people that we work with. It's a large population. It's close to 20 million households in India, which is like a large number. So these are the people that we work with. The intervention is a 3-year intervention, which is a little complicated, or it's simple. The elements are simple, but when you bring everything together, it's a little complicated because we have to lift them up out of ultra poverty. They will still remain poor even after our intervention because they're very extremely, very terrible situation. But there are a combination of intervention that we use to uplift them out of ultra poverty at the end of a 3-year intervention. Multiple elements involved, which we can come to later if anybody needs any questions around it.
Thank you so much, Aryan. After this, let's just quickly go through the theme or the topic of today, which attracted a lot of you to the webinar as well. Aryan spoke about the scale at which we need to do what we are doing, right? Or we plan to do what we're doing. And that genuinely requires product and tech. Anyone who has tried to work at scale in any sector realizes the importance of product and tech. And as a recruiter, something that I often get asked is, why do you need tech or product in the development space? What does even product look like for you guys? Is it even required? Do you guys have stand-ups for it every day? So I think this became an interesting chance for us to get some of the product leads and people who do this day in and day out in front of us and talk to them about their journeys as well as what, for example, their everyday looks like and what their team does through and through at what pace and comparison with the for-profit sector as well. So that is what we're going to do today. With that, we'll move to the first question. I would also like to highlight that these questions are the ones that we've received from you guys. So attendees as well as people who are candidates at the Nudge have raised these questions to us quite often, and we wanted to give these questions the stage, but we also have the second half of the webinar for questions from the audience. So I'll go ahead with my first question for Isha. Isha, what are some of the major distinctions that you notice in how product is defined traditionally versus in the not-for-profit space?
I think it's a great question. To go back to that question and something which we've been talking about, scale and so on. So, one of the things I at least look at it from a product is that some of the products and innovations that have been successful, like Google Maps, UPI, vaccinations, they serve a big gap. They serve a big need of the population. They are built to address the needs of the people, and in hand they also ensure to improve the quality of the life of the users that they are doing, or the journey of the users. Now these solutions could be product or service solutions. In the social impact space as well, in the development space, we deal with all of the above. The only distinction being that the product here, for example, in Asha Kiran, is a livelihood promotion model, and the customers over here, if I have to put it in the market words, would be the rural poor women and the community as well. So the problem is also multidimensional, and it's not linear, as well as the journey of the customer is also, complex, and therefore has relationships, stakeholder managements, and so on. Just to highlight even further, the customer need here is, for example, if I talk about the poor women farmers we work with, the farmers actually need a reliable cash flow, a positive cash flow, to improve their food and income security. They need a diversified source of income apart from what they currently do, which is wage laborers. In our context, I'm sure Aryan will speak about and Delta Power program as well. But in the farmers, women farmers need an alternate source of income to just withstand the life shocks, and therefore the stages of the product or the journey of the user becomes acquiring a customer, if I have to put it, by just saying mobilizing the farmers, then is to build the capacity of farmers for the livelihood, and then to establish an ecosystem which makes them, which is, and I say ecosystem, it could be government, it could be markets, to ensure there's a sustained flow of inputs in the form of money, knowledge, resources, technology, innovation, as well as the output of the project. Yeah, and I think when I talk about this, that one, the problem is complex, the customers, or it's not just one, there are multiple as well. And they're not built overnight, so they go through a lot of iteration. The general product cycle, again, a similarity which I see is that we talk about discovery and defining a problem statement, then we talk about designing experiments, learning from them through a data driven approach, test and evaluate, and then create meaningful impact towards scale, right? And throughout this journey, I feel it is necessary that we build robust relationship throughout the ecosystem, to evangelize and to create a meaningful impact at scale. In the slide which Tanya had shown, Asha Kiran program is in the prototype stage, where we are doing all of what we are saying: discovery, define, ideate, test, and again go back, right? So we are in the stage where trying to get the product market fit. Over to Aryan to obviously talk about End Ultrapur and the distinction you see today.
Yeah. I agree with some of these elements that Isha has captured. Some of the other element that I want to capture is, first of all, the question is, what are the three distinctions that you see in terms of product that is defined traditionally versus the not-for-profit sector? The way I look at what I think of as product is something that solves a particular problem. And whenever I think about product, just the products that come to mind are generally things which have immediate impact. Like if you buy a soap, you just buy a soap, you use it in the bathroom and you're clean. So that's done. UPI, phone pay, you download, register, you can start making payments. It's instant. It takes like 5 minutes. Similarly, LinkedIn, download, register, start applying for jobs. But the product in social sector, especially the product that we are working on, doesn't have that kind of, it doesn't work in that way, because it takes a lot of time and a lot of different components to come together. It's not one solution, one problem, one solution. One problem, big problem, it requires to be tackled in multiple through multiple different ways. It's very multidimensional. So basically, to give an example, we want to uplift people out of ultra poverty. So it's not just that you can just give them a grant and it's done. You have to give them grant. You have to show them as to how to use the grant. You have to coach them on what all different livelihoods to do. You have to help them protect them from shocks. So you have to help them build the asset base. You have to Given these people have never had money for the next meal, you have to coach them on there is a need for saving. There's a concept called savings. How do you save 10 rupees every week? So a lot of different things that come into picture. So the product is very multi-dimensional. A lot of things coming together. It's not a simple single thing, single problem, single solution. It's also the users are very different as the users that we generally see in our for-profit world. These are people who understand how to use the product to make bar batao de samajh jayenge. It's also most of the products that we use are self-serve. So we know how to use a phone there. We'll download and we'll use it on our own. But the product that we are building is not self-serve. We actually use the product, which is the basket of all these components, to actually serve the program participants so that we can uplift them up. So these are some of the distinctions. There are several other distinctions. It's a very sticky problem, a lot of things to do. But these are some distinctions which will help you understand what we are working on and what we call product.
Thank you so much, Isha and Aryan. And I think what I'm taking away is the multi-dimensionality of the problem. The word doesn't even do justice to the challenges that we have. Every individual has a different context, and understanding that spending time on research on ground to identify challenges at multiple level and to solve for it. Unlike a lot of spaces, not a linear problem at all. And we'd love to kind of know more in this session on how you guys approach these challenges as well. With that, we'll move to the next question, which is for Aryan. Aryan, a question that we get really, really often. When you joined the Natch, how did you manage to leverage the product focused skills that you picked working in the for profit space? I think just a little bit of context to this question, Aryan, is that oftentimes people ask us if they'll have to start from scratch, if that is and the learning has to be absolutely new, or is it a copy paste and that's something that will be possible. I think somebody who has done this would be the best person to answer it, and hence directing the question towards you.
Yeah, even I had similar doubts when I joined the Nudge as to I've never worked directly in the for-profit sector or not-for-profit sector, and the challenges are very different, the users are very different. But I think in terms of product, the main important thing, anyways, for building a good product is understanding the user, using first principles thinking to solve any problem. I think these are very easily transferable skills. If you are ready to just get your hands dirty, roll your sleeves, and go in the field, understand, spend time with the user, ask them questions, eat food with them, have their water that they're drinking, and then not try. Basically, try to understand what they're doing and why they're doing and how they're doing and everything. So then you can understand what problems they're facing. If you ask them what the problem is, they'll not have an answer to that. But if you understand and try to get in the weeds to understand the problem, I think that is what is needed to basically get to understand the user, use first principles thinking to come up with solutions, go and test, build prototypes, go and test on the ground. Prototype banane ke liye, you don't have to wait for the prototype. You can just make designs and just check whether, oh, will this solve your problem? How does this make you feel? How will you make this better? Just work with them towards solving a solution, because you might not come with the final solution on day one. That's why we have the stages, right? Prototype, propagate, proliferate, so that we start building a prototype and then iterate on it. So it's the same thing that any great startup that has done well would do in the process that they'll follow.
Absolutely. I think every time we have someone visit our office space or join us new talks about the startup culture at the Nudge. And we know why. We know because we're solving audacious problems, we're solving them at scale, and it's difficult. And that's what powers a lot of us as well. Before we move to the next question, I'd like to request everyone who's here with us to please send in your questions. We have the second half of the live for your questions as well. But as and when they come to your mind, please type them out, send them to us, and we'll ensure that we're taking them up with our panelists as well. With that, happy to move to Isha with our next question. Isha, the biggest question, the elephant in the room, I would love to discuss this with you, and actually both of you, right? It is a very, very genuine question that comes to us often, which is compensation. While we would like to be in a place where the development sector pays at par with the corporates, I think especially if you compare it to the tech and product averages in the market, the not-for-profit compensation is not the same. So when you made this shift, when you made the journey or the decision to move to the not-for-profit space, what were some of the considerations that you made? What was your pros and cons list like? Who are the people you spoke to? Just for our audience to know what this journey looks like for someone like that.
Yeah, I think have answered it too many times to new nutsters. So and also in the talent acquisition round. So no thoughts there. But on the compensation bit, I think no, I wouldn't want to break the myth that we pay a lot and everything. The comp is not high. It's already declared as a fact. I too had to take a very large cut on my salary when I joined the Nudge. And I looked at it from a point that I think I was moving from the for-profit space to the non-for-profit space, which was a very personal goal for me, right? To create meaningful impact, to help a larger cause, to create systemic change and work for such problems. For-profit space as well solves for all of those. It's just, I think that I wanted to work for a community that is underserved or and the needs are untouched to be that's how I put it. That was my personal compensation for moving, right? Now on the monitoring compensation of bit, I think I looked into my basic needs, laid out the cash outflow, what is a monthly cash expense on house loan, regular household expenses, some contingency expenses for my family, parents who are growing old, and come up with a minimum number in my head, obviously in consultation with my family. And after that, I think I started my search, talking to various organizations across the space, not just the development spaces across the landscape is huge. There are multiple firms, multiple organizations there, multiple thematic areas. So it spoke to a lot of them to get an understanding, to understand the landscape better, to see how people approach the problem, the complexity of the problem, how simply people articulate how the culture is, and then also looked at compensation, because compensation I had that filter, right? So when it comes to, I wouldn't even deny that the comp is going to be a huge barrier. But that said and done, if you got a calling, then a time right would be that, okay, there is a cushioning at your end, which could be your savings, which could be your partner earning, or some wealth for your family. I don't know, but you could always go back to that and say, oh, that cushioning is there. I think I can take a bet and explore this side of the journey if there is a second thought about understanding where your true journey or purpose lies. And that's how I took the thing. And obviously, Nudge has been a serendipity journey for me, not just an exploration journey. But that's for another time, I think. Aryan, your journey is also quite unique, I think.
Yeah, I think I agree with Isha. I think my journey is a little different from Isha's journey. But having said that, I have not met a single person who says my salary is really great. I'm very happy with my salary. Uh, I'm not saying that यहाँ पे तुम ऐसे बोलोगे. No, यहाँ पे भी you'll not say this that your salary is great. Obviously, it's on the lower end of what you can earn at a corporate. So that's, we just have to be clear on that. And the way I think about this question is, what are your needs and wants is something that you need to sit and evaluate. If you want to fulfill your needs, which is according to me basic is food, clothing and shelter, वो यहाँ पे fulfill हो जाएंगे. Then you'll come up with wants. So wants mean you have to figure out what are your wants which are negotiable, not negotiable. If you're looking to buy a Ford EcoSport, yes, you can fulfill that here. If you want a Lamborghini Urus, नहीं यहाँ नहीं आना है. You can maybe come after 5 years after you buy a Lamborghini, and then you can give me a ride as well. So basically, that is what you need to figure out. You need to speak to your partner, you need to speak to your family, what their needs is. Not just about your needs, but their needs as well. So this is, but I think the one point that you miss in this is your needs and wants are not just material, right? There are non-material needs also that you have, which is job satisfaction, working with amazing colleagues whose heart is in the right place, doing things that really matter. And for me, I think one of the important considerations that I had in mind before I thought about not-for-profit space was, am I getting into a role where I am a replacement for someone, or am I a net positive? Most of the industries that you'll go to, you are a replacement of someone. If you want to go to a strategy consulting firm, there are thousands of people who are lined up to take the job that you are applying for, or a product role, or anything anywhere. But the not-for-profit space is not like that. You actually, coming from the for-profit space, you bring something very unique. You've learned a lot. You have a lot of skills which actually can be applied to the not-for-profit sector. Not a lot of people are raising their hands because everybody is questioning this. Their needs and wants, will they get fulfilled or not? So you need to figure that out. Be a little comfortable because the salaries are not going to be that great. It's not going to be that this is the job where you save a lot of money and retire early. So that is not this job. If your plan is to retire early, this is a job where you don't feel like retiring early. You want to contribute something meaningfully. Just to give you an anecdote, every Monday when I get up and I'm going to office, my wife is like jealous of me. She's like, "Why are you so happy to go to the office? क्या है इतना क्या interesting कर रहा है?" So that's not just Mondays. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I'm very excited about the work that we do here, and that's a satisfaction that I get, and that's why I enjoy this work. Even if they paid a little less, I'm not going to say that to the PNC team, but I will still continue to do the work. So that's it from my side.
Thank you so much, Aryan. For context, I'm from the People and Culture team here at the NATCH. But really interesting answers, Anish. I'd like to pick up from what you shared about taking the bet. I was having a conversation with Nimish, who works in the tech vertical in the End Ultra Poverty program, and he said that a lot of time while taking the bet, people assume that it is a convergence. Once you enter the not-for-profit space, there's nothing, you're there, right? And what he shared from his experience is the kind of complex multidimensional problems that you're solving here, it's actually a divergence. You can go anywhere and solve anything once you've done it for a while. So I think just another layer to what you both shared that came to my mind. Just keeping time at check, I'll quickly move to the next question. But before that, I know compensation is not an easy subject to speak about for anyone. So thanks a lot, Isha and Aryan, for kind of sharing your honest journeys with us as well. With that, I think my next question is for Isha. Sorry. My
I
next
can
question
take
is
that.
the next question is for Aryan. Aryan, in your work, how does technology and data get leveraged along with product? I think a question that I know you'd be really excited to share about. So please, over to you.
Yeah. So we talked about what problem set we're working on, which is solving for ultra poverty. So technology, if you just think about it for the first time, technology at the program participant level is not an expectation that we can have. These people struggle with even saving 10 rupees a week. So they don't have access to mobile phones or data or anything. So the way we think about technology is, how can we, first of all, just let's take a step back. The program is complex. It's basically it's a 3-year program. Our field staff who work with program participant, each field staff works with 40 up to 40 program participant, and a team lead who manages the field staff. They work with 25 field staff. So a team lead has a span of control of 1,000 program participants, and when a field staff is going and meeting all these program participants, everyone in the journey is at a very different stage. Someone has problems with getting an Aadhaar card. Someone has problems with their livestock. Someone has problem with agriculture. Someone has problem with chilies. Someone has problem with spinach. Someone has problem with savings. So there are multiple things that are happening. So the work that we do is an intense hand holding, where every week our field staff goes on the field and works with these people. So if you can understand this, it's a very complicated thing for the field staff to do, and for you to understand who the field staff are. These are 8th standard pass women who might not have done any work before. They might not have any work experience. They might not have done the work that they're supposed to do in the program. And plus, they have a lot of responsibility to complete in the morning at home and in the evening at home. So within this constraint, there's a lot of cognitive load that they have to take to manage all these 40 households and ensure that they cross the finish line and graduate out of ultra poverty. And imagine if you have to scale this up at 20 million households. How does anyone, or let's say our Prime Minister Modi, know that what is happening on the ground and which these on the path to graduation or not on the path to graduation? So that's where technology and data comes into picture. The way we are thinking of technology here is we are building an app or a platform which is more of a task management workflow management app, where the moment the field staff opens the app, it tells them today you need to go to this area, meet these five DDs or program participant, and for program participant 1 you need to do X, for program participant 2 you need to do Y. When they click on it in terms of what they need to do with program participant 1, it tells them what to do and how to do just in time, so that they don't have to remember the training that they got like 6 months back. So these are the things that we're trying to do using technology to improve the efficiency of the operation on ground work. And this is how we so data collection is a byproduct of they completing the work. Data collection is not their job, and this data is used by the team leader to understand as to which program participant doing well, not doing well, which field staff is doing well, not doing well, and then coach them and train them and problem solve on the ground. So that is how we use technology and data. There's a lot more I can go into detail, but I'm cognizant of the time that we have here.
Thank you. And Aryan, maybe we actually already see a lot of questions by the participants that might make you go into depth a little bit. So we'll come to that as we do. For now, my last question to Isha, again, can seem like a really cliche question, but we understand where a lot of people who are looking at a transition from the for-profit world to the not-for-profit come and ask us this question. So, what does a day in the life of a product lead at the Nudge look like? Isha, feel free to answer for yourself, for your team, and everything that comes in the gambit of what you do. Maybe does not suffice within a day. Talk about a longer period as well. But yeah, over to you.
Yeah. Like Aryan has repeatedly said, the program durations are longer, and therefore the product journey of the user or the customer or the program participants is also longer. Therefore, a day in the life of a product person may not be the right way to look at it. To look at it would be to look at the program design itself. Like if the program is designed for 2 to 3 years, and therefore there are different stages in the program, and at every stage, the team goes through a series of work, and the series of work I think is to like I said, the discover and define is basically research, not just primary research, the literature research, secondary research, but also qualitative, doing need gap analysis on ground. Many other studies related to the to not only your primary customer, which is the women farmers over here, but also different value chain players. And in the backyard poultry case or the goatry case, we did explore all these conversations across the value chain. Try to also understand from our organizations, other livestock organizations who would have worked over the past years, decades, uplifting women farmers as well. That's one part of it, which is discovering and define part, if I have to put it. Once the problem statement gets done, now you can come with 20 of problem statements, prioritize them, work on one of them, to ideate on either solutions, or if there is an existing solution, trying to work on the variance of it, which is experiment stage, if I have to put it. Collect the data, whether it's through the tech product app or the basic things like register, and therefore and that's how we start. And the product doesn't come in the beginning, tech product. In fact, you just start with registers to pictures to Excel sheets. Then now we have offline solutions, offline online solutions, building dashboards around it. These are the stages in the lives as well. And therefore, after that, once your experiment and looking at what how the experiment has resulted, you either kill it, persevere it, or scale it, right? And then therefore, after that, take it to the final solution. Now you call that this component of the program is done. Now there are people who might be working across the journey, depending on, for example, in the livestock promotion model, there would be farmers. There would be a certain POC, which would be a progressive farmer taking care of the coaching of the DBs as well. And after that, there would be a field executive. So there are 3 touch points, if I have to put it. Every person in the product team or in the team, in the program team itself, would take care of different stages of these touch points. And therefore, working on improving the experience of these touch points is the primary goal of the program, right? So there are people who would work on maybe the first stage, which I said acquisition, right? Acquiring or mobilizing the farmers. Some people might work on just capacity building, creating content, testing them on ground, and so on. Some people might work on only the technology part, and all of them go through these various phases, which I said, to bring the entire program. Not forgetting that all of this has to be tested on the field with the team, keeping in mind that there would be people from the sector who would be joining us, and therefore designing it in a way that it could be implemented on ground. So yes, I think all in all, various stages, various all the team members come together to make a program design holistic, if I have to put it.
Thank you so much, Isha. Thanks a lot for that. The journey that you mentioned sounds really similar to what a lot of my friends in the product space have in their spaces as well. So I do see a lot of things that can be transferable, a lot of skills and actions that can be transferable here as well. With this, we are ready to move to audience questions. I feel a lot of conversations on chat. We'll be happy to share them with you immediately. Just one thing, a lot of people are asking us if this is being recorded. Yes, the session will be available on the Nudge Institute LinkedIn handle for asynchronous consumption as well. So if you feel that a friend of yours can really benefit from this conversation, or it is an aha moment for you, please feel free to share this with them. I really hope that you do that as well. For that, now let's move to the audience question. I think the first one is from a LinkedIn user. We don't know their name because it's something that's not visible right now. But it's about how do you scale these products when the context is constantly changing across region and across individuals. So I think they talk about geography here as well, and how do you navigate this for yourself? Either one of you, Isha, Aryan, it's not specified to someone, but yeah.
Yeah. I can take this. I think this is like a constant problem statement that we are trying to solve. So even in EUP program, the Ultra Body program, the way we do livelihoods or whatever we do in Jharkhand is going to be very different from what we do in Rajasthan or Karnataka and everything. Having said that, there are a lot of things where you need contextualization, but the overall program design remains the same. So there is always going to be a grant component. So we have to give them some money. There is always going to be a coaching component. There is always going to be some element of financial literacy or savings and all. So overall structure remains kind of the same. The individual elements might change. So that is something that we cover with some contextualization in the tech product or the product itself. So let's say in certain states, we don't do goatry, we do fishery. So the training will be around fishery. The package of practices that we'll train the program participant on will be on fishery, not goatry. There is also context that changes within the program with DDs also. Like some of the program participants will have Aadhaar card, so we don't need to go through the process of getting them an entitlement. So no work needs to be done there. But some people might need to apply for an Aadhaar card. Not just Aadhaar card, they might not even have anything, not ration card, not PAN card, anything, no photo or anything. So we have to go through the entire journey with them. So those elements are there, and that's what makes this much more complicated and dynamic, because you feel that, hey, I've cracked the product or the program, but then there is like this new complication that comes in. We feel that, hey, these are the actors that we're going to work with, and suddenly in the new state, those actors don't exist, or they're very weak, so we can't work with them. So you need to figure out those things. So that's what makes it interesting, right? You start scratching your head as to how do you solve that problem, but then you're like, oh wow, this is what I signed up for, right? If it's just going to be a copy paste, तो तुम्हारा मेरा काम ही क्या था? We don't have any work here, right? We could rather make money.
Or AI could take over your job.
Or AI can take over.
It's a copy paste. Yeah.
Yes. So I think that is how I would answer this. So,
Isha, anything to add here?
Yeah, I mean, I think, I understand that there would be a behavior. So, because we work with humans here, actually, and there's a lot of behavior change that happens. So, there is a bit of complexity. I just wanted to highlight that we're very, very cognizant of that. And we're saying that we try to understand that through, the usual things which people will do, like segmentation of users, whether it's geography, region, or persona, income levels, assets they have. There is a way you can do that as well, like you would do it in the for-profit space. But that said and done, Here, because it's the rural development space, information is not just on your hand, and that's why the even more wicked problem over here. Not at all denying it's a tough one, it's a challenging one, and that is what makes it exciting. I have no two words to that.
Well, thanks a lot for the examples that both of you are sharing. For someone who does not understand product in such depth like the two of you, I think it's really, really helpful. Our next question is from Ujjwal. I've shared the question on the screen as well. How do you measure on-ground impact of your products? Are there some fixed impact analysis frameworks that you use? Again, I know you spoke about this at the app, Aryan, as well, which the work of the ground staff is not to collect data. It's something almost like a byproduct. So maybe if you'd like to add to that, both of you, in each one of your programs, considering the programs are in different stages as well.
You want to take this first?
Yeah, I was very intrigued by the word fixed actually. So we do believe in referring to frameworks and breaking them there and there, then and there. I feel so. There are a bit of monitoring and evaluation framework. We have the impact for hub, as well as we work with a lot of partner organizations. To one at two levels actually. So what Aryan was talking was from a very input output metric outcome project outcomes indicators, which is very very true to what we are doing. If we are doing our work, we should know what the outcomes are, right? Basic task activity output outcomes. But beyond that also there are certain overall, there will be a theory of change because of which you would want to see certain impacts on agency of change, quality of life parameters apart from income savings. So we are saying agency of change is built through an income generating activity or multiple income generating activities. That is one way of looking at it, which is the economic outcome or economic impact. But there are other indicators, the quality of life indicators, which also get integrated. So wouldn't want to point out a framework. This could be further looked into intersectionalities of gender, of technology, of regions, geography, many other things which could come into the play when we look at overall impact. But if I understood, I just broke it into two parts. The ground impact is what I thought was outcomes, and overall impact would be both in the economic as well as the social impact indicators. Do you want to add as well?
Yeah, I don't have any framework in mind, but the way we definitely do a lot of analysis on the impact and everything. So we try to measure two things: the lead indicators and the lag indicators. Lag indicators will come at the end of the 3-year program. Did we do anything for these families or meaningful impact for the families? And those will be based on these indicators around income, has income increased or asset increased or savings increase and all these things. We have this templates around. Before we start the program, we have a baseline survey where we do the baseline analysis of the family. Then we do a midline analysis. Has there been an improvement or not? Then we do an endline analysis. We also do analysis post the program. At least right now, few of our program participants are in the 4th year. They've graduated and it's been a year. So we're doing the analysis as to has the impact been sustainable? And we'll continue doing this analysis for the future to see whether all the effort that we put has it made a meaningful life and sustainably. So these are some of the things that we do. I think if this answers some of the question that you have.
Thank you so much, Isha and Aryan. I think that is really helpful to understand. I think data is really, really integral to what we do, and without it, I think everything that we want to do is just a wish or an opinion. So for it to feed back into our programs constantly is really, really important to us. And thanks a lot for speaking about the frameworks that you use and break constantly as well. Our next question is again from a LinkedIn user, but I'll share it. Sorry, I'll share it on the screen. Savings is significantly a no among our ultra poor groups. One of the strongest reasons is non-access to infra. How do you resolve such policy issues? And for both of you, I think what I would like urge you to share as well is, I think at the Nudge we constantly say that our goal is really audacious, and what we plan to achieve we can't do by ourselves, right? Governments, markets, and civil societies, and governments first there as well, are really, really important to what we aim to do. They're the ones that work at scale everywhere. So maybe if you can talk about some of our policy level work in the past, and not just at these issues but broadly as well, I think it would be really helpful.
Yeah, I can take this question because this is primarily applicable for our End Ultra Poverty program participants. Yes, savings is significantly not happening right now with the ultra poor groups. I think yes, if we think about infrastructure in terms of banks, yes, the banks are very far away and it's very difficult to access them and everything. They a lot of people have bank accounts, but those are dormant because they're not used for a lot of for a long time and everything. But what we do is in the program, most of the times we are working with the NRLM or SRLM machinery, which is National Rural Livelihood Mission, and the state counterpart for that. One of the important elements of this machinery is making self-help groups of rural women. These groups come together with the primary purpose of saving and lending to each other. So they keep saving every week. They'll meet and they'll start saving, and they'll build a corpus together, and then they'll use the corpus to lend to each other. So that infrastructure is available in a lot of places. Available where it's not available or where it's created but it's dormant. We work with the SRLM machinery to reactivate them and connect our DDs or our program participant to the SHGs. A lot of times, the infrastructure is there, which is the SHG machinery. They might not have banks, but the SHGs, the self-help group, will have account with the bank, and they'll collectivize the money and they'll put it in the bank account. So the SHG might be available, but just that because our program participants do not have the money to save, they're not part of it, because the main requirement of being part of an SHG is that you have to save on a weekly basis. It's a consistent thing that they have to do. So that is how we work on it. When actually this question is also very important. One of the important things that I am also thinking, that savings is not just about this 10 rupees. Savings is also this building this mindset that yes, there is a hope for me in the future that I need to save for, and the more I save and more I invest, the better my life is going to be, and I can have this larger vision of my life of me maybe having a house or having regular food or better nutrition, better clothes, my kids going to school. So bunch of things. So savings is one of the primary factors leading to all these things. So there is this infrastructure that is available. In most cases, where it's not available, we'll try to reactivate it, because especially because we're working with the SRLM machinery, who under them have this SHG machinery.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot, Isha and Aryan, for sharing that. I think our next question is not something that someone has asked on the chat, but something that we've received in the submission form, which is trying to understand what are the kind of stakeholders that the product team works with, both within the organization, so multiple support verticals, as well as outside the organization. Maybe we can speak about the program participants, the field immersion, as well as vendors or the stakeholders that come to they come into contact for all of you. So, who are your stakeholders, right? What are your relationships with them? And yeah, maybe connecting to a little bit of what does your day look like. But if you can share that a little bit in detail for us.
Since I did the day in the life, I think I can take that. So, yeah, a primary stakeholder, like in every product, would be the customer, right? Here in our case, it's the program participants, the rural women farmers we work with. And if I go to the next point, it would be the immediate circle of influence, which would be their family and the community. They have to partake along with the farmer. No, it's not just a single household we work with. We work with the entire community so that the inclusion happens. Those are the first primary stakeholders, if I have to put it. Then comes, like Tanya has already mentioned, we do work with the government. Asha Kiran program is in working in partnership with Uttar Pradesh State Rural Livelihood Mission, so that we can also help them, which was also linked to the earlier question, right? How, if it's a market model, how do the VDs actually give in money and contribute and get the funds through the SHGs? The fund flow happens, and we work with the government there at a block level, at a district level, at a village level as well, and then at a state level post that. Then there are markets, which is basically if you're working in the livestock side, and there are vaccines and birds and sellers and buyers as well. So there is this entire value chain of the backyard poultry as well as goatry. So we work with them as well to get the best prices negotiated for the model to be sustainable at the farmer level. Then there is also the academic institutions we work with, so that we can, if we have not just on the intersectionality bit, which is gender, tech, or data, but also towards understanding livestock or understanding if there could be the technical expertise which we might be lacking. So we do partner with organizations to either do academic research or also to do impact research. And did I miss any? I'm just thinking, and there are vendors, obviously. I'm so sorry. The partner organizations. Also, we do pilot with other civil society organizations as well. In the past, we have worked with organizations where the organizations have implemented poultry and the poultry program, learn from them as well. But parallelly, we also have our vendors, if we are putting it, but they are also partner organizations who actually help us build the tech products or any kind of innovation which we try to do on the field. And yeah, I think I'm hoping I'm not missing anyone, but it could be any set of organization, people, and services which might affect the entire value chain, which is directly linked to the primary customer program participant here. So yes, I think I did cover quite a bit. Yeah. Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot. Thank you so much, Tanya. So the team within Nudge, yes, of course, there is the field team, the field executives, the district team, the state team, again operations, if I have to put it that side. But then there is the enabling team, which is how do you ensure that there is a commitment of talent through the people and culture team, which is acquisition of talent as well as in culture building as well. Then there is the you have to work with the fundraising team to ensure there is enough funds and capital in place for the program to run for the duration you are working with. You work, and we have multiple other functions: marketing, impact. You do work with all of them actually. So in the, if I have to put it from a product team angle, or I don't know, but the program as such has to work in at the Nudge across all the enabling functions, which is fundraising, people and culture, marketing, the impact, tech, and all of the functions, along with the program operations team, which I'm considering as the same as product. Okay, so yes, apart from the external stakeholders. Does that answer, Tanya?
Yes, it answers my question. And the reason I'm so excited is the next question is one of my favorite questions, which is, other than tech skill relevance, what additional skills or qualities do you think are needed to work in tech that is focused on the social impact? Also, I think in the development space, right? So I think tech relevance, we spoke about transferability of those skills, but when someone is looking to move, right, beyond skills, I know we talk about attitudes, we talk about mindsets, we talk about knowledge base, smarts. What, according to the two of you, and I know that we send so many applicants to you for interviews every single month. So, what are some of the qualities that you look at when you're looking at someone for your team? Maybe focus on tech and product side here as well.
You want to take this? Or want to
You
take
can
it?
go first, and then I will add on to you.
Yeah, I think for me the primary most important thing are two things. One is problem solving ability, that you should be able to look at the problem, figure out what problem to solve first of all. What is the problem? Be able to identify that, and then break down into chunks. And how are you going to solve it, and how are you going to prioritize and solve it is going to be very important. Second is extreme user obsession. I think you need to spend a lot of time to understand the user. One time going in meeting and saying I know who the user is not going to work, because one time तुमको कुछ नहीं मालूम पड़ेगा. You have to go again and again, try and spend a lot of time. And the users are multiple people, right? Right from the program participant to the field staff who works with the program participant, to the team leader who works with the field staff. उसके ऊपर all these are users, because the product that you're building are for each element, because all these are important elements of the puzzle for solving this problem. So हर एक को you have to, the product needs to answer or help each and every product. Basically, what is it? Basically, execution the ops people are going to do. So product is just helping the ops people to figure out as to how do you solve all these problems, and what is the design of how you're going to go and execute on the ground. So basically, extreme user obsession. Not say that, oh, I think this is the problem, this is the solution, I don't know why it's not working. Your job is to ensure that it works for the user. If it's not working, you've not done your job well. You have to come back to the drawing board and see why your product has failed, and keep on iterating. Be ready to I think accept that you're going to fail multiple times and be ready to come back to the drawing board and reiterate and re-ideate and just improve on the solution and work on it. I think these are two are very important for me.
I see the question also related, I think, what kind of specific skills you're looking for, could you elaborate with? So in the product team, at least, I think, like he said, somebody who enjoys problem solving, somebody is user-centric, if I have to put it like user-centric design, human-centric design, kind of a thing. Comfortable with numbers. We are a data-driven organization, so has to be comfortable with numbers. May not be a topper in maths, but still enjoys the analytical part of it. Ability to break down, analyze, deep dive into a problem, be crisp, articulate about the problem statement, like he said. Ability to prioritize, and also the ability to take risk every time we say, oh, it's failing, let's do it again, just stand up and do it again. All of those skill sets, if I have to put it, along with it, which I think is very, very important, coming back from the previous conversation, I feel is influencing, right? Not necessarily product takes any decision, and I think it's applicable for profit, non-profit everywhere. But there's a very specific skill, which is an influencing skill, I feel, where you take in all the opinions, analyze, break down, and also bring the table together to say that these are the possible 3, 4 solutions. Looks like this is the best scenario, right? And these are the risk mitigation techniques, like how would you do? So I think primarily those are the skill sets. How can you get involved? Please apply and write down to careers at the nudge.org. If you don't find an application which is suitable for you, you can still explore conversations. There are a lot of nudsters, ex-nudsters who are always working towards, uh, you know, towards the purpose of poverty-free India within a lifetime. So, yeah, we love engaging with people and having conversations.
Absolutely. I think biggest cheerleader for that last statement. I think, again, what I picked up is I know that whenever we have a hiring huddle or when we discuss candidates,
Oh yeah.
comfort with failure is something that we discuss really often. And that's across roles, I think, not a very product specific. So Aryan picked that up from Double. Would like to kind of reiterate that from your end and everything else, Isha, that you shared. Really, really important aspects, especially influencing, really important aspects of what we're looking at in the tech and product team. Because we are at the end of this journey, I'd like to quickly let everyone know that one, yes, the questions, and there are a lot of questions on chat that did go unanswered, but be rest assured that we'll get back to each one of you individually in a follow-up email. We will share email IDs for you to kind of continue communication with Nudsters so that you get answers to a lot of questions that still riddle you. I am always available for a conversation. You can find me on LinkedIn very, very easily. Beyond that, there are a lot of product and tech roles open at the Nudge Institute. You can visit our website. We'll share the links to our job boards as well. Feel free to filter based on your location, preferences, number of years of experience, etc. We'd love to get in touch with you, get to know you better, and identify the niche for you at the Nudge as well. Isha and Aryan, any parting thoughts from both of you?
Yeah, I think call to action is there are a lot of roles open both in Asha Kiran and AUB, but I'm definitely looking for someone who has worked on building habits, not just for themselves but also for a community and has worked with such a community. The role is called L&D Product Manager, and very very and that's an immediate call to action for me. Yeah, but I think really like the questions that came in. So yeah, thank you, thanks.
Thanks a lot, everyone, for your questions. Aryan, any parting thoughts from you?
I think the sector needs amazing talent. Either you join here or you take up any other problem statement to solve. I think I'm just excited that you're taking this time out to listen 1 hour to us talk about this. I think it would be great if like, even 2 of you or 5 of you apply, and not just apply here, but just decide that you want to solve a meaningful problem statement that makes a difference to people's life. I think I would be very happy that we spent this 1 hour here if even few of you take the plunge.
And my parting statement comes from Ujjwal, which is on your screen. Thanks a lot, Isha. Thank you, Aryan, for your time. And thank you, everyone who attended. This is just the beginning of a conversation. We intend to keep in touch with you throughout your journey to move into the development sector. Really, really looking for great talent like yourself. Please apply. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Bye bye.